There's some chick on here who's in trouble right now for, I guess, over-promising a lot with her delivery in her upcycled wedding dress business. Not my normal content, but I wanted to talk about my experience upcycling a wedding dress. Or having a wedding dress upcycled for myself. Cassie says hello. She did her own eyeliner today. It is March of 2020. We are probably 24 hours from the NBA shutting down with the coronavirus pandemic, and I was wedding dress shopping with my mom and best friend. I fell into the classic mistake while wedding dress shopping that I loved the way this dress looked on me when they bungeed me into it, and wasn't as into it when I actually got the dress in my actual size. I knew there would be tailoring, but it just fit differently. So I knew I needed to make some changes. And I knew when I bought the dress that I didn't really like this applique, and I was going to want to get it taken off, either to have like a whole plain white wedding dress situation or to have like a uniform, maybe shinier fabric put over the whole thing. So in my mind I'm thinking, yeah, that's normal stuff, plus probably a little bit extra. There was a lot more that went into it than I expected, which is why I'm glad I worked with. So I went to this dressmaker down in Houston. The owner's name is Marin. She's wonderful. They immediately saw my issue with the dress that I purchased. I'd paid about $1,800 for it, and I had about $1,500 budgeted for alterations. So she helped me come up with a plan. She decided she would completely take apart and remake the whole dress. So she remade the bodice so it fit me better, and she gave me inch-thick straps instead of the spaghetti straps, so I had better support for my upper body area. That ended up being necessary because the back of the dress was really low. Not going to do a full reveal, but that's what it ended up looking like. And also I was concerned about how windy New Mexico gets because we were getting married in New Mexico, and I was concerned that the really fluffy skirt with the horsehair edge was not going to stand up to that. So she came up with kind of an ingenious plan, which was we would buy this really beautiful, expensive, like crystal beaded German tulle that was literally as expensive for 8 yards of it as all of the alterations combined, which made the dress a lot heavier, but it also created this incredible effect with that fluffy skirt. It like narrowed down the skirt a bit into an A-line shape and then gave it a great spin, as you just saw in that picture. Here's a close-up of the fabric that we used, so beautiful. And that's what it looked like. So the combination of the cost of the fabric and the alterations was like $1,200. And I thought that was a great deal. It took months and a half dozen fittings. It was literally like a brand new dress by the end. It's also like, up until then and since then, I have not spent anywhere close to that amount of money on any piece of clothing. And so I don't know what any of that girl's services cost, but like for what people were getting, it's just so grim. Because I literally felt like this whole team of dressmakers was like working with me to like facilitate a part of the actual event of my wedding in the form of like my costume, my wardrobe. They wanted me to look the part and to feel the part and for everything to really work and to fit the vision. And I learned so much about clothes in the process and how textiles work and how fabric is made. I actually liked the service so much that I had them make me a dress for an event a year later. This is for my husband's best friend's wedding. He was the best man. This isn't the dress that I got, this is the inspo for it. I basically walked into a Neiman Marcus, saw a $2,000 gold lame dress, tried it on, and I was like, there's no way, but gosh, this is really cool. So took a bunch of pictures from the website, sent it to this dressmaker, and she had sketches for me like as soon as I paid a deposit. She was like, okay, we can either hand pleat this gold lame fabric, which would be really expensive and slippery and tricky, or we can switch gears and use this kind of like crushed velvet situation. It wasn't quite crushed, like, but it was really shiny and lovely and metallic, and it already had pleats in it, so you didn't actually have to do the pleats. She sent me pictures of herself in the dress, and this is me and my husband, looking like Bruce Wayne's soon-to-be murdered parents. The point is, I'm so happy that these dressmakers showed up for me on my wedding day, and in the process of preparing for my wedding in this way, it really made me feel so confident in my clothes. But the service changed the way I feel about clothes and made me do the very expensive service again for fun, because it was fun.